Dear students, today we'll see what do we mean by a crimping of a network cable. Now, in this process of crimping, we are going to insert a cable into a appropriate connector, and that a connection, when we do, is called as crimping. So let's start with the topic of crimping of network cable. Now, in this topic, we are going to study the following contents. Number one, tools for crimping network cable. So what are the tools required for crimping of network cable? Number two, what are the different types of cables available, which are called as Ethernet cable types? Number three, process of crimping of network cable. What is the process? How we should connect the cable to the connector? Then number four, what do we mean by straight cable arrangement? And number five, what do we mean by cross cable arrangement? There are two cablings which we can do. One is straight cable and one is cross cable. Number six, cable testing process. How to test a connected cable, network cable by a cable tester. And then seventh, the experimental procedure for crimping of network cable. Then let's start with the tools for crimping of network cable. So here we can see the first one. We have shown Cat6 cable here. We have shown a Cat6 cable. We can also have a Cat5 cable, Cat5 cable. Okay. And this cable is available in this way. And from that, you have to take how long cable you want. It means what is the distance of your 2 points which you're going to connect with this network cable. Depending on the distance, you have to see whether you want 1 meter, 2 meter, 3 meter, 4 meter, or what, and that much you have to cut and take from this bundle. Okay. Then here you have your RJ45 connectors, which are connectors used for networking cable. This is the downside. This is the downside of the connector, and this is the top view, that is the top side of the connector. And here you can see a notch. Here you can see a notch, and here are the 8 points. 8 points where your 8 wires have to be perfectly placed. And after you connect them, when you insert this connector into the appropriate point, you have to press this notch, and whenever you want to remove the cable, this connector notch should be pressed and removed. So while you are inserting and removing the connector from a particular point, this notch has to be pressed. Then the tool which will make the cable and the connector join is called as crimping tool, which is used for the crimping process. And here you can see there are two slots. This slot is used for RJ45. Okay, and the other slot is used for telephone cables. Now, RJ45 for networking, you can have this slot in which you have to make the a cable inserted. You have to insert the cable into the connector properly with whatever arrangement you want, whether you want to do straight cabling or cross cabling. And then after inserting it manually, you have to insert that a connector into this tool. And once you press this tool, that a connection will take place permanent. Okay. Then you can have a cable tester here. This is a tool by which you can test whether the connections you have made on both sides of the cable, whether they are correct or no, by observing the LEDs on the front panel across the number of wires. So number one wire, number two wire, number three, four, five, six, seven, eight. So how both the wires are connected at both ends, you can test with this cable tester. Then we'll go to see what are the types of cables which are available in the market. So in our computer networks, you can have category 5 cable, category 5E cable, category 6 cable, which in short form are called as Cat 5, Cat 6. And Cat 5 and Cat 6 cables are mostly used. These are unshielded twisted pair, that is UTP, unshielded twisted pair cables, which are connected by RJ45 connector. Now, the a cable type and the speed are as follows. A category 3 cable will have 16 megabits per second. Category 5 will have 100 megabits per second up to 1000 megabits per second. Category 5E will have 1000 megabits per second, and category 6 will go up to 400 megahertz for super fast broadband applications. Category 7 is also available. This cabling is also known as Class F. These are some types from which Cat 5 and Cat 6 are mostly used in our computer networking. Then how to make this Ethernet cable means how to make this crimping process, how to crimp the cable. So here are few simple steps. The first step is take your cable and strip the outer cover, and be careful in doing this or else the internal wire will get damaged. So here you can see you are stripping the only the outer insulator part. Okay, you have to strip only the outer insulator part by a stripper, and there here you can see the wires inside. So these are 8 wires and 4 pairs. They are in 4 pairs. So here you can see 4 pairs, or they are 8 wires, which you have to separate properly. Okay, so the stripping is the first process from which you are going to remove the outer insulator, and you have to make the wires untwist properly. You have to separate them so that according to your requirement, whether you want to do straight cabling or cross cabling, you can arrange those according to the color mentioned on the wires. Okay. Then we'll go to the third step. Unwind the twist cable and make it straight and cut the edge of the wire. So here is what you get first. All the pairs. These are the 4 pairs for what you've got. Now those 4 pairs you unwind them and make them as separate wires as shown here. Separate wires as shown here, and then in that you will get the different colors like orange white is there, orange is there, white green is there, blue is there, white blue is there, green is there, okay, white brown is there, and brown is there. So this 8 wires you will get. Now trim all the wires to the same length. So once you cut them properly, so here you can see in this cutting, one wire has come little more length. Okay, so that should not happen. So trim them correctly so that they come to a proper length like this. All the wires will come to a proper length and at an equal distance. When they're inserted into the RJ45 connector, all those go with a correct space inside, and they join the correct point inside. Okay, so that is why we have to trim the wires to the same length. So then step number 5 comes: insert the wires into RJ45 plug. Make sure each wire is fully inserted to the front of the RJ45 plug and in correct order. This is very important. So this step you're going to do manually. You're going to insert the cable properly inside the RJ45 connector. You have to insert this cable properly inside the RJ45 connector. Here you should not make any mistake. Your color combinations should be according to your requirement, whether you want to do straight cable or cross cable. So again, check on both sides whether you have put the cable wires correctly inside, which are going to connect with the inside metal properly. Okay, and then once you feel that your connection is correct, then you can put that connector into the crimping tool and press the tool so that the connection becomes permanent. Okay, now your LAN cable is ready. You may now test the cable using cable tester. Then before testing the cable, we will see what do we mean by straight cable and what do we mean by cross cable. So here, first we'll see what is straight cable. Now in straight cable, once you open the wires, if you put in the following arrangement. So here arrangement of one side, we have shown side A, So this is side A arrangement. Now here you can see you have first wire which is orange white, second wire is orange, third wire is green white, fourth wire is blue, fifth is blue white, sixth is green, seventh is brown white, and eighth is brown. Okay, so same thing is shown here also. Here also you can see. Now on the other side of the a cable also, if you have the same type of arrangement, side B, if you see this side B, there also same type of arrangement. Orange white is first, orange is second, green white is third, blue is fourth, blue white is fifth, green is sixth, brown white is seventh, and brown is eighth. So same arrangements if you do on both ends of the cable. So this is a cable, and on both ends, even here you are having the same arrangement, and even here you are having the same arrangement, then it will be called as straight cable. Okay. Now this straight cable arrangement should be entered into the RJ45 and then pressed by the crimping tool. Okay. Then straight cables are used for what connections? Means where do you use straight cable and where do you use cross cables? So straight cables, if you want to connect two different types of devices, then we use straight cable. So two different types of devices, like if you want to connect a computer to a switch, if you want to connect a router to a hub, if you want to connect a modem to a router. So two different things if you want to connect, you can connect with straight cable. Now say for example, if you are making a computer to computer connection. Now if the computer to computer connection is through a switch, say this is a computer and this is another computer. If this connection is made through a switch, so here you are having a switch, then you can use a straight cable from this computer to the switch, and then you can have straight cable from this computer to the switch. Okay, so here because you are using a switch, you can use straight cables. Straight cables can be used for the networking, for the connection. Okay. Then what do we mean by cross cable? So cross cable, if you see the arrangements will differ a little. Pin number 1 and 3, pin number 2 and 6 will be exchanged. So here if you see side A you are maintaining like same orange white, orange, green white, blue, blue white, green, brown white and brown. Okay. So here whatever is at pin number 1 will go to pin number 3 on the other side. Whatever is at pin number 2 will go to pin number 6 on the other side. So here you can see pin number 1 will go to pin number 3 and pin number 2 will go to pin number 6. So pin number 1 and 3, pin number 2 and 6 will be exchanged on both the sides. So side B, you can see here side B, the first you are having as green, white, then green, then orange, white, brown, orange, blue, and blue, white. So with this way, you are just making the both sides exchanging one pin number 1 and pin number 3, pin number 2 and pin number 6, so that the transmitting and receiving points on both sides are clear. So one point which is going to transmit will receive on the other side, and the point which is going to uh, transmit on the other side will receive on the first side. Okay, so if you want to maintain that, then this type of changes in the color combinations you have to do. Okay, now this type of changes will be called as your crossover cable, and here we have shown with respect to the colors of all the pins of all the number wires. Okay, so here you can see, and if you put this in the RJ45 connector and crimp it, then you will get the cross cable. Now, where we are using a cross cable and where we are using straight cable. Straight cable we are going to use when you are going to connect two different devices. But cross cable you are going to use when you are going to connect same devices. So here you can see, if you want to connect two same type of devices, then we can use cross cables. For example, connecting a computer to computer, connecting a router to router, connecting a switch to switch, or connecting a hub to hub. Now, all these are same type of nodes which we want to connect, and that can be connected with a cross cable. Say for example, if you want to connect two computers, now if you're using a cross cable, then you can connect the two computers directly. You can connect the two computers directly without a switch. So these are the two computers. So these two computers can be connected directly by a cross cable without a switch. You are not using a switch here. But if you're using straight cable, then you have to connect the computer to the switch by a straight cable, then from the switch again to the computer by a straight cable. But if you're using cross cable, then directly both the computers can be connected so that your points of transmitting and receiving are clearly mentioned by the crossover cable. Then here you can see we have shown in the first figure two computers are connected directly with the help of cross cable, and here you can see two computers along with a hub in between can be connected by straight cable to hub, and then hub to computer again straight cable. Or two hubs you can connect that directly by cross cable. When the nodes which you're going to connect are of same type, then you can use cross cable. But if they are of different types, then you can use a straight cable. Okay. Then here we are showing a cable tester. Now here you can see this is one part. This is one part on which you can see those 8 points and their LEDs. This is another part on which you can see those 8 points and LEDs. So these are the LEDs shown here, which will blink when the particular connection is going to be mentioned by the cable tester. And these are also LEDs which will be blinking when the particular connection will be shown by the cable tester. Okay. Now these two paths can be detachable. You can remove them, and separately you can connect one end of the cable to this part. So one end will come here of the cable and another end will come here of the cable. Another end will come here of the cable, and you can test on both sides whether they are connected properly or no. So here, this is how you can detach them. And here you can see you can put one end of your cable. So here you can put one end of your cable here, and here you can put another end of the cable. This end of the cable indications will be shown here, and this end of the cable indications will be shown here. Okay. Then you can see that both paths are detachable. You can detach them. And here you can see the indications of the LEDs. So here you can see if pin number 1 of the first end is connected properly, this LED will glow. If pin number 2 is connected properly, this LED will glow. Then pin number 3 is connected, then this LED will glow. 4 is connected, this LED will glow. 5 is connected, this 6, 7, 8. So turn wise, this LEDs will become on and off. So it will show turn wise. First one will glow, then it will go off, then second will glow, it will go off, then third will glow, it will go off, like that. Similarly, on this end, if you want to, if you are connecting the other end of the cable, this LEDs also will function in the same type and show the connections are proper or no. If a particular LED is not glowing, then that particular connection is not done. If the LED is glowing, then the connection is done. So for both straight cable and cross cable, you can check which LEDs are glowing and which are not glowing. Then this is how you are going to connect the cable with the cable tester, and you are going to on it with the on off switch first. It will be running on a battery, and then this LED will go on. That is, you have made it on. Okay, and then once the testing starts, you can see the pin number 4 here is glowing. That means it is connected properly. Pin number 4 is glowing. Like that, all the pins turn by turn, LEDs will glow. Pin number 1 first will glow and then go off. Then pin number 2 will glow, then go off. Then pin number 3 will glow, then go off. Like that, all the 8 pins for the 8 wires, 8 LEDs will glow and then go off. Okay. Then what is the experimental procedure? What you can write for this type of experiment is step 1, strip the cable jacket about 1.5 inch down from the end. Step 2, spread the 4 pairs of a twisted wire apart. For Cat 5e, you can use the pull string to strip the jacket further down if you need to. Then cut the pull string. Cat 6 cables have a spine that also need to be cut. Step 3, Untwist the wire pairs and neatly align them in proper orientation, whether you are going to do straight cable or cross cable. Make that arrangement. Be sure not to twist them any further down the cable than where the jacket begins. We want to leave as much as cable twisted as possible. Step 4. Cut the wires as straight as possible, about 0.5 inch above the end of the jacket. Step 5. Carefully insert the wires all the way into the modular connector, making sure that each wire passes through the appropriate guides inside the connector. This is very important. Step 6. Push the connector inside the crimping tool and squeeze the crimper all the way down. Step 7. Repeat steps 1 to 6 for the other end of the cable. Step 8. Make sure you have successfully terminated each end of the cable. Use a cable tester to test each pin. This is a normal 8 steps for your straight cabling or cross cabling, whichever arrangement you're going to do whenever you're going to crimp a network cable. Thank you, students.